Hi everybody, gonna paint a little painting today. Quickly, you have some, I believe it's cyan blue here, permanent red oxide. I think this is burnt umber, this is permanent rose, this is a yellow, this is a green, this is a white, this is an orange, this is an ultramarine blue. I mean, what difference does it make the exact names of them, because everybody's paint is a little different. So just going to do a little painting and start out, I think, crazy as it sounds, I'm going to start with the background on this. So for that, I want a little bigger brush and a little hardier brush. Let's see if I can get one. Oh, I don't know if that's enough. Let's see. I'm just going to basically put the background in just generally around him. Hopefully you'll be able to tell who this is. I'm going to overlap his ear and his hair, so I can bring that back over around him, or bring him over it. A little bit of water. Move this so that I'm not stabbing across you too badly. I want to paint fast. Where's the light coming from? In this painting, it's mostly coming from the front, so the sides will be fairly equal. This was a pencil drawing I did. And no, I'm not great at drawing, and no, I'm not great at portraits. But it was kind of a challenge for myself. I wanted to do it quickly, get my first impression, and just move. This is transparent oxide red, and I don't know for sure. I think I added a little bit of my sap green in there. Both of them were transparent, so I was able to go right over everything that I drew, and I could still see my lines underneath it a little bit. It's amazing how when you add some skin tone, it already starts to look like a person. And you have to make some decisions. Are you going to paint the beard area all in when you know it's going to be white in a little while? Did you paint the eyes in? I just want to get down a medium color, not a light and not a dark. Get all the skin tone covered. In a very thin layer. Yes, you can cover those whites of the eyes because they're not really 100% white, they're just lighter. So I put it on even thinner there. I realized later I forgot to do the ears. But I went ahead and started putting in some gray in the beard area. The only way to show dimension in white is to put gray in first or a darker color underneath first. Otherwise it just looks like cotton. I'll probably speed this up a little bit for you. Again, gray in the hair, which isn't that much different from the background. So we'll go a little faster here. Stippling in a little bit of the white in his hair on his head. Now the beard. This is a fairly big brush I'm using. Ooh. Boo-boo. When I drew him, I put the basic lines of his face in, and it really didn't look that much like him, but I think it was proportionately correct. However, the more colors I put in and the more lights and darks to show the different, I don't know if you want to call it elevations or reliefs or proportions of his face, the more it looks like him to me. Because it brings his cheeks out, it shows you there is some puffiness under the eyes, the dimensions of the nose coming forward, the light hitting the lips. And I think those things make him look like himself. And I chose someone that was not a family member because it always drives people crazy. When you paint them, they don't think it looks like them. But if I didn't do someone that everyone knew, there would be no way to judge whether or not it really looks like him or not. Again, using a big brush, making marks. Some of the marks are off, some of them are too dark, but I know that I'm coming back in to hit all these things. See, now you sort of lose a little bit of the person again when you do this, but then you have to come back in and adjust again. So you're making it, then you're wrecking it, and then you're finding the similarities again. It's kind of a scary process because you know right before your eyes you're losing the look that you wanted. Can you get it back? Putting paint on makes it very hard. I'm not doing anything perfectly here, so that was never my intention. This is a practice portrait for me. Basically, I'm getting in as many darks as I can right now. Then the mediums. And I'm showing you the entire video because you get to see the entire painting, not just part of it. think he has a very interesting face. I'm not that interested in painting his clothing, so I just put it on there very quickly. I like adding a few colors in the skin tone that maybe aren't 100% realistic, but are complementary. Now for some lighter tones. They're not the lightest, but they're lighter. Put in some of the light on the eye. Again, it is not white by any means. Putting a little dot on the eye to bring it to life. Some shadow from the upper lid. Now his eyes are starting to look normal again. I'll go back and forth on these a bit. That right eye is not quite there yet. His left eye, but on our right side. What makes a person look like themselves? Their expression, the smallest little things. One little thing wrong and you can make the eyes or the mouth look crazy. This is a little smaller brush now, pointy brush. Not tiny, but it's got a pointed edge on it. Bottom lip, always lighter than top lip. Top lip is in shadow. Too light. I'll have to darken that a little bit. Step back, girl, step back. I'm in my little studio, which is my laundry room. Very little room. I really wish I had a giant room I could just run around back and forth, step back and run forward. And I'm kind of an active person. I need lots of room. As a hairdresser, it would drive me crazy when people would ask me if I could pop over their house and do their hair, and they wanted me to do a nice little neat haircut that didn't make a mess anywhere in the hair salon. Of course, I could throw hair everywhere and just sweep it up when I was done. So I feel kind of stifled when I'm trying to stay neat. So now I'm moving into a little bit of the highlighted areas. I hit the wrong color there. I could put a little shadow over on that right side of his forehead, I see. I skipped that. You can always do something else. Technically, you could never be done with your painting. You could just keep messing with it and messing with it. But again, this was just a practice, quick painting to see if I could catch the likeness. I was kind of excited to do that nose. I don't know why, but I thought it was kind of an interesting nose. That tapping is not me painting, that is me recording and my bird sitting beside me banging on his cage, playing with his stuff. I see I still have that bottom lip off a little bit. It has to be a little dark under there so that I can show those few little hairs that he has in his beard under there. Kind of need to leave this area alone a few minutes and come back to it because it's off a little and I'm messing it up. His mouth is open just a little bit, almost as though he's saying something. You can see just a slight little bit of his teeth in between his lips. even though there is one dominant eye, and no two eyes are exactly the same, you do want to get them similar. Now for a little bit of fun color to liven it up and make him look alive. you can see, you can get the portrait in very quickly, but the fine-tuning is the part that takes the most time. There are still problems here with the mouth and with the basic look. I'll work on it a little bit more, but it won't be much longer.